So today I'm going to show you how to make the bed using just water spray, and you don't need an iron, and nobody thinks it can be done. So I'm excited to show you. So this is step one. I've just pulled all of the laundry out of the dryer, all of the sheets. So you're seeing it raw. All I do is separate out the pillowcases. And I'll put those aside for later. And this is the bottom sheet that we're going to work with. Okay. This first layer is not perfect. It doesn't matter, because when you apply the water, you're going to shake it around a little. So this is only water. It's reverse osmosis. I put a little essential oil in if you wanted to do that. It's like 3 to 5 drops for this size. That's it. And now you just evenly spray. It's on spray, not stream. I like to cover the whole mattress first. And then you're just going to simply shake it out. So really the trick here is no stress at all, because if you still see a couple wrinkles in the bed, by the time you are done adding all the layers, they just disappear as the spray dries. The flat sheet, if you use one, is placed upside down so that it can be folded over with the decorative banding visible on top. So you can see how wrinkly it is coming straight from the dryer. So what I like to do here is just give a light spray before folding the top down. And then we're gonna spray it again. You can just simply lift the sides. I do like to spray the sides of the flat top sheet. And all I'm doing really is just pulling and spraying and the wrinkles release. I don't worry so much about the bottom because that's all gonna get tucked. But if you wanted to do a little bit, and you see even as you apply and you're just pulling, the parts that are sprayed with the water, just the wrinkles come out. So again, on the side, we're just dragging, pulling. We don't even have to pull hard. Already much better. We don't do any tucking yet because this is where you really can kind of lightly tug and pull all the wrinkles out to shape the bed. And this is where we're going to flip over before we do the final tuck. And then spray one more time. And you can see hopefully that even as you smooth your hand, now this bottom fitted sheet that we sprayed is mostly dry. So now you can just run your hand over it and everything smooths out even more. So now that looks pretty even. I go through and just spray the top and the band. So any wrinkles there are going to disappear. If you feel like you have any that you missed, a little stretch again. And then I like to tuck the bottom first before tucking the sides. Just smooth back over with your hand. I'm using Frette sateen sheets. And again, if it's not perfect, it's okay, because as you're going and you're stretching, by the time you do the final tucks at the end, it's fine. So now I like to go through and make the hospital corners. And this is where everything just kind of gets tightened up. I prefer to tuck the sides on my bed. Oh, and then of course we have the resident house cat, which wrecks it all. But you can see from this, by the time you get to this step, it really is almost completely dry. It may be damp, but now you just can continue. I'll pause here. Hello. And I'll finish adding the top layers, and then I'll come back to show the pillows. And that's it, voila. It looks like it's freshly ironed and brand new out of the box. And it was just a light spray of water. Thank you for your help. And we're back after the cat to just show that all I did really was just smooth out the paw prints. And that was kind of a nice thing to show, because you can see that even because it was still damp, they just really disappear. That's all I'm doing, just smoothing. Okay, so now we assemble. I have a lot of layers to the bed. But I went for a flat look. So we're gonna add one by one. Add everything back. And this particular layer falls long all the way to the floor. This one is a Sephora top blanket. So what I like to do here is fold everything flat, and then I'm going to fold down. And when I fold down, I try and just overlap the line of the flat sheet so that we don't see a hard edge. If this was a duvet, for example, what I would do, if there was no flat sheet and this was a duvet, I would fold this all the way down to the top line, the end of the mattress. And if you want, you can tuck in this bottom. You can leave it or you can tuck it. We'll show you a tailored as if it's a duvet that you have on the bed. So the tailored option does look better with the duvet if you're tucking in this bottom portion. And then for ease of making the bed during the day, making your bed every day, I prefer to leave the sides waterfalled. If you tuck them in, I find that it gets a little bit fussy and it's taking too much time. So we're just gonna say it's just like that. Another light spray. And again, if this is a duvet, it's gonna be the same fabric, either a percale or a sateen. And the wrinkles are just gonna fall out. In my case, it's not quite as immediate because this is a heavier weave, but it still works as a wrinkle remover and adds that finishing touch. And again, as it dries, the wrinkles just smooth out. So now, because I have so many blankets, I'll show you. Let's say you're gonna have a blanket at the end of your bed. I'm gonna show with just this one because it's easiest. So what I do is, again, put it on upside down. So what you want to see, the top part is a linen. This is a little tricky because technically it's reversible. This underside is sateen. I prefer to see the linen. This is a frette blanket. I'm just gonna pull it up. And I would say this is like the sleeping position. Make sure it's even. Now, you're going to pull it all the way down to meet the bottom. So the corners meet. And again, I'm doing it this way for a very specific reason, because it's easy for you to unwrap the bed every night, and it's easy for you to make it again during the day if you do it in this way. So we're just going to even it out. Now you take your bottom corners that have lined up, and all you're going to do is bring them to meet the top. And then I'll show you what that does for getting into the bed at night. So now your position on the mattress is actually ideal. You have a little band. Usually if you have a duvet, you're going to have a decorative band that's showing here. And then you have the decorative blanket perfectly placed, folded in 4. So now what happens when you get into the bed at night? Again, very easy. I lift the end of my blanket, I pull the duvet up. After the duvet is completely in sleeping position, let's say I fold this down one time, I fold this up one time, And now the blanket is also in sleeping position. And then in the morning, you wake up and you're going to do the reverse. Duvet comes down. Blanket comes down. Very easy to maintain. And then you can have a beautiful bed, hopefully with not a ton of effort. It depends on what fabric and blend your blanket is. So with some of them, I do not recommend using a water spray. This is a linen. Technically, it's dry clean only. I do spray it with water because it's only water, and it does make it look just kind of fresh and gets the wrinkles out. However, if the blanket is a frette silk or cashmere or a blend, and it's a dry clean only, I would say do not use the water. Okay, so then in my case, I have a bolster that just keeps the keeps your head from falling through. So that gets placed on the bed, and then we do the pillows. And again, we're going to do the pillows exactly as we did the sheeting. Absolutely nothing special. So these are wrinkled, fresh from the dryer. Nothing's been done to them. We're going to do the sleeping pillowcases first, and then we'll do the shams. So I like to do this part on my blanket because this is usually so beautiful and wrinkle-free. I don't want to mess it up. So we have one sleeping pillow, nice and wrinkly. We have the second sleeping pillow. So when you're working with the higher end linens, what they do is use only one seam, a single seam. And then on this side, there's no seam. And I'll show you a couple different placements for that. All we do is lightly do the water all the way around. Now, if you are going to do the 2 sleeping pillows and 2 shams, and you're going to use the method where they're upright against the back of the headboard, you always want the seam to be down because it's hidden and it makes this top lay more beautifully. However, if you're going to use the method where you're going to stack the pillows, sleeping on the bottom, sham on the top, You actually want to place this seam on the inside toward the headboard. So again, you're going to have a very clean, finished edge. For this composition, we're going to use the upright position. And when you make a bed correctly, you have certain markers. So this seam that we used for the top sheet, when it gets folded down, is the line that shows us where we need to put our first sleeping pillow. And all you're doing is spraying and lightly pulling. And the other really important thing that you may not know is all pillowcases are designed for the outside edge is where the decoration goes. So you never put the decoration toward the inside. It's always on the outside of the bed. Everybody has their own preference for sleeping pillows. So that's why this one looks misshapen. It's because it's a pillow that is designed for stomach sleepers. So they can really like get their arms around it and bunch it. So it does have kind of a hard time keeping its shape on the bed. But it almost doesn't matter because when we put the shams, it'll disappear. And then if you notice, we're trying to bring the sleeping pillow seam to the center seam of the headboard within an inch of either side. You do have some play there. So this one is a little further away. I'll just scoot it in. And then we place the shams. We're nearly done. So we may not be winning any bed making racing competitions with this method, but it does save you a really long time ironing. With the shams, I don't ever really bother misting the back side of the pillow. I only do the face. And that's it. The wrinkles just literally disappear as you pull that forward. Again, the same with the sham. They have an edge to them, a back. So everything tucks with a sham. It's finished on all four sides, but you want to leave the opening exposed towards the exterior of the bed. And then again, checking our lines, the sheet is going to tell us, the band, that the sham is going to sit the pillow right to the inside of that line. So now you get the full view of the decorative part. And I like to use, so while the sleeping pillows at the back can be different based on the type of sleeper you are, the shams, I like those forward pillows to be identical so that the same thickness, they fill up the sham in the same way. And so both of these to the forward, these are Frette shams and Frette 100% down, very heavy fill inserts. So we're going to do the same thing. And again, I don't like to use a lot of decorative pillows on the bed. I like all of the pillows, 4 pillows total. That's it. And they all can be used for sleeping. It just depends. There are some nights when I prefer the fill of the down, and I'll just sleep on this. I wash them all the same. And some nights I prefer my firmer avocado organic mattress or pillow, and then I'll use that one. But same, we just line everything up. We use our lines, and now even though the 2 sleeping pillows are different, and this one looks a little saggy, by the time you place the shams, it's okay. So again, anything that you're seeing here is just mist on the blanket from doing the pillows, and that will completely dry and disappear, and then everything will be totally wrinkle free. So that's it. That's how you make a bed without any ironing, only water, completely natural, great for sleeping. You can do it pretty easily, and I hope that helps and saves a ton of time at the ironing board.